Hi, so I really don't usually record videos for this game. I mostly stream Persona, but I kind of wanted to record this just because I have been playing Persona 5X like a lot. Um, I'm level, what is it, 73, about to be 74 in the game. Uh, and I just read the dev letter after I just like took a break. I have other work I have to get done, so I'm not streaming. And that's kind of why I wanted to do this video. So, first off, my thoughts on Persona 5X as it is, like in a video. I started this game knowing it was going to be on an accelerated schedule, which means they push the content out so fast, like you kind of don't even have a chance to really take a break, or that's how it felt at the start. With 1.3, they definitely slowed down the pacing, and I think they're gonna get to like start even slowing down how fast they're catching up, and probably move to like 3 week cycles in the future if they're not already doing that. I think they actually are already doing that. But yeah, I have heard from a lot of other players. Um, some of them have played the CN version, and that's where a lot of like frustration stems from, because it's not like people, because like I play JPFGO, so like I see, but for FGO it's usually not the more recent server gets fucked over. For FGO, it's been the servers behind get the most benefits. Like they got a system like literally, I think it was a year and a half on it on NA with the append system. They got it like a year and a half early, and that and because they got it early, it changed the meta for the next year and a half, because characters had more power than they were supposed to have back then. That is definitely not the case with Persona, because it's going so fast. Most people don't have a chance to like really get their characters up, because harder like the end game is refreshing at the accelerated pace. So if you're not playing the game, you're missing out on rewards. It's not a fun thing, and especially like, but my counterpoint to that is some of that end game stuff is what I call rotational content. It's content developers use to sell characters. It inflates the value of characters. People think a character is stronger than they are. People think, oh, if I want to get the rewards, I need to get this character. That is probably one of the most dangerous mindsets to have in any gotcha game, or in any gotcha game for any player. The second you feel you need to get a new character in order to clear seasonal patch content, the content the devs are using to sell the characters, you know you're like, they won. They have your attention, and they have like your interest, so you're more likely to spend your money. They hooked you already. Persona. So, little long-winded. Let's get back to this. I have seen a lot of the feedback people give. Some of it I think is like overly negative, but a lot of the stuff they talk about here is definitely well deserved. Again, I haven't looked up stuff on JP Persona. Well, yeah, really any gotcha game now. I don't plan on making any duplicate accounts. If I start a game, it's gonna be only on that server. So yeah, happy to get all this stuff like as early as possible. I'm not gonna read this whole thing. I'm not someone that likes to read like every single word or sentence on a page. I trust people that watch the video to look it up for themselves. This is on the Persona 5X site on news, by the way. So yeah. So new contract system. This is This is with a 50-50, and basically the new system is slightly below half another 50-50. So instead of going to like another half of a pity would be like adding 40 pulls to 80. In exchange for 40 pulls, you guarantee you're not going to lose the 50-50. So then it says here, this was entered to CN, and they're just trying to make it earlier. So this isn't something new. This is something they added, and I'm assuming it was in regards to like Wuthering Waves, because I believe Wuthering Waves has a system like this too. But yeah, so my opinion on this as a math person, the drop rate isn't changing. Yeah, so that's the key thing. The drop rate isn't changing. So if you are someone like me that always hits pity and always loses your 50-50, look at my summons for Honkai for proof of that, because it's one of the most miserable summonings I've had, with me still not having Hycelin's Lycone after already spending, I'm pretty sure it's almost $200. So I'm not happy about that. Having this to not have a 50-50 for only 30 more pulls, that is up to you and how lucky you are. If you are super lucky and you don't rely on pity normally, like how I do in FGO, I barely hit pity. It is miserable when it happens, but it barely ever happens. Like my luck in FGO right now has been amazing that a pity wouldn't do anything. If you are someone that is super lucky and you get 5 stars back to back, there is no reason, or you don't lose your 50-50s, there's no reason you should be going, switching over to this. Because your odds aren't changing, it's just your safety net is better. Yeah, and I think the drop rates for this game are like similar enough to Honkai. It's like 0.3% for the rate up 5-star, and the rest of the 0.3 is for all the other characters. This would possibly turn it into a 0.6 static, like a static 0.6, in which case that's a different conversation. Yeah, no. So it's saying the contracts have different rates. So if you completely remove the 0.3 chance and it's a 0.6, or they just get rid of that other 0.3 and they keep it a 0.3 and they have to redistribute it, I would have to say you have to look at the math. You have to look it up, and probably look towards Sienna content creators' opinions on like what their thoughts on it, because I don't have the numbers in front of me for drop rates, so I could look it up, but I also would be translating like Chinese, and I don't trust Chinese translation enough for something like that when it's in regards to like math and stuff. Yeah, no, this is this benefits me a lot more because I have Minami. I actually summoned for her. Even though on apparently CM, like, she was already into the gold tickets, like the general pool, and she was supposed to be in the Lufel's plan 3. So it's talking about this, like the rewards here. I would not be surprised if. Yeah, no, this one of these should have been Minami. Probably take out On, and this should have been Minami. And here, Minami would have been this one probably. Again, I'm not sure. They've rebalanced this for NA, and that is the dev's choice at the end of the day. 1.4, apparently Minami and Yumi are going into the general pool, and in 6 months, as it was in the original plan, like anyone on rate up is gonna go to the general pool 6 months later. It doesn't look like they're gonna do it like batch, like wait how they do evocation in Fate Grand Order. It looks like it's just gonna be like 6 months later, and it's probably like eventually it is gonna be like basically four patches, and then the rate up characters in the general pool. That's how it would be in Honkai if it worked like that, because 4 patches is of 6 weeks each is 6 months. Yeah, 24. And then weapons will go to the general pool too. So yeah, no, I'm happy about this. Ever since they did say that characters were supposed to be in the general pool, they're not. You have to wait. I have just been saving my pool tickets. Mostly because I also just don't need them. Like, I have 61 right now. I have all these characters. So, yeah, no, I feel very justified and very happy that I saved my tickets, because I did want Yumi, but I don't have enough. My rates for materials are not high enough that I would actually be leveling her anytime soon. But she did look fun, and my only other lightning character is Motoha, and yeah, no, I got stuff to work out with other characters too. Yeah, no, this is an accelerated pace. It's kind of expected that when you're on an accelerated pace, again, the meta shifts so quickly that if you are trying to like fill out your entire roster at the start of the game, it's literally gonna get outdated in a month. Look at Sela from Honkai, how long she was good before she wasn't. 2.0 rolled around for Honkai, and Sela's damage is so piss poor with the modifiers, not even funny. That I honestly don't see that as much of a problem. Like, I don't see modifiers as much of a problem for this game as it is feature creep, where new characters just get new abilities like constantly that just like, it's not that their their damage number get higher. It's just like way easier for them to hit higher damage numbers, like consistently. Like, it's either they get so complicated that the damage is like super high, or so basic that the damage is like piss poor easy to get like to a decent amount. They said they're gonna go 20 tickets and 20 tickets for character pulls and 20 tickets for weapon pulls. So a fourth of a pity each for just the 2.0 update. Definitely not bad for a 2.0 update. It's even more impressive, really, considering like the 1.0 was in June, and 3 months later we get a 2.0 gift like this. Is it big? No, but it's more like, it's 4 times than what we got for the normal login bonus. Like, that's how I see it. Like, this is 4 times the amount you get from normal patch login bonuses. Yep, they're gonna say other stuff. Paid items. Okay, so I don't know the full story on this, but I do know how China has always done like monetization with games like this. China, because of like content restrictions, they didn't want like young people, or yeah, young working people to be on the computers gaming all the time. So there's like heavy restrictions with how long you can be playing games like in your free time. So in response to this, people like pay to play, like to skip the boring crap and just play the game with the limited time they have. This is personal experience from Destiny 2. I remember clearly that they did this. They literally let people buy exotics with real money. They had like a different shop and everything. I believe this is only on BattleNet, like in the times of BattleNet. So I'm not sure if it's been going on for a while, but I do remember that was like an offshoot Destiny game, or it was like the China version, or what they were trying to do for Destiny Rising. But I remember this so clearly, that this is a cultural thing with like being able to buy progression from the shop. That was back then, and that was with a game that wasn't a gacha. However, and this is what I'm mostly talking about, like boxes like this that you pay to skip like farming, and it's like a good amount. The fact that you can buy this with meta jewels, not this. I would have more problem with these, because if you look at Honkai, you can buy you can't buy the like the 10 pull packs. Yeah, you can't buy the 10 pull packs with all the what is it? With the focusing stuff. You can't buy that with Stellar Jades. It has to be with the paid currency. So if this is what they're talking about, I don't see this part as big of a problem, but I'm 90% sure they're probably talking about something else too. Yeah, I truly don't know specifically what this is talking about. If it's talking more about like this stuff, I don't know the comparison, so I can't speak on it. Sorry, I just wanted to claim that. It was bothering me. Okay. So, tasks. This is something Honkai has, where you just send characters and get free shit. Also, this was the thing in Ethereum Restart, but it takes so long for this to build up. At least in Etheria. But that was also tied to like guild participation. So if you weren't in a guild, you wouldn't even be able to participate in that. So I think this being available for just like every player sounds fine. Again, I don't know if these are already in the game for CN, or if these are unique. It sounds like these are on CN, but based on this phrasing, brand new feature 4. Yeah, like this. Oh wait, no. I don't know, because like how it says name not final, that could either be translated or like a translation, or like it actually is a new feature. But I think this is just a translation. They're not ready for the official name yet. Rewards for this feature will make it easier for players to forge their 5-star weapon and can be attained through daily play. Yep. Yeah. Like, and forge. When they mean forge, they don't mean like craft. They do mean like forge. Get an extra copy. Oh, just in case you didn't know, because all these gacha games have different terms. It's always annoying to remember which one is which. That's why E1, S1, like that's everyone at least knows. Like when you say E1, S1, like you're at least talking the first one is like the character, and then the second one is the weapon. But like the number, like the numbers matter, the letters don't. Just wanted to say that there. Yeah, so they're gonna be able to do this for like any character. and it is universal. Um, it's saying that we're able to do it for these characters. It sounds like in CN it wasn't initially like that. Yes, okay. No, they're saying in the gold. Right. Okay, so I understand what they're saying. It's because of like the pacing for them releasing characters into the gold summons is so much slower. They're just gonna put this. Okay, yeah, no. So this is definitely already a thing. They're just making it so they don't have to change their plans again for the accelerated schedule. Uh, yep. So this for me is just a pog. I have this character. I don't have her weapon, so I'm gonna get her weapon for free, and I'm gonna get her an extra copy. So is what it is. I do think this game does give out higher copies of characters a whole lot easier. Um, I know there like is a complaint that this game is definitely death by 1,000 gachas. At the same time, I don't know a gacha that lets you straight out buy another copy of a character for like a fraction of the cost to actually even pull the character in the first place. Like the equivalent to a 10 pull, they sell you another copy of the character. I do think this game is like, and a lot of gacha games in the future are definitely moving towards death by 1,000 cuts, trying to like get all your money at once instead of like $100 packs, $80 packs. I think it's mostly because of regulation, and honestly, the more dollar amounts in front of everything, the easier it is for people to not be burning as much money. And as I'm playing other gachas, I have slowed down how much money I put in any one gacha at any given time. It's just like these summer months are always the worst. Yeah, like in all honesty, Persona 5X coming out in June was probably one of the worst timings because it came out like right when my gacha games are like getting full swing. Uh, so I was never gonna be dumping a lot of money into this game. But when I do spend money on this game, I feel comfortable about it. Yeah, it's like death by 1,000 gachas, but it is going to get more people like into the door. But at the same time, I say this often. I grew up at a time and was fortunate enough to like be going to arcades a lot as a kid. I only see these gacha games as playing arcade games. Is it healthy to dump all your paycheck on going to the arcade? Absolutely not. But at the end of the day, I feel more comfortable doing this than spending $200 to win a prize at an arcade that I could have bought for $40. Like, people also do have to remember, like, it's not like gachas were the first scams out there. It's just like this is the first. Like, these scams just make money they make so much money so quickly, for a fraction of the cost of any brick and mortar store ever would have to for scams like this. Because just like NFTs, once you make it once, you're done. You sell it to however many times you want, and it has like it's made. You don't have to do anything to it besides like code balance. So yeah, last thing, and then I'm probably gonna take a nap and then go get my secret stuff done. Yeah. So last thing, okay. This again goes back to the whole cultural differences between like free time for an American and free time for someone in China. You do palaces and story like you're playing Persona 5, and you do this part like you're playing a gacha game. That is the big difference that some people might need a little context for. Persona 5X was created because Persona 5 wasn't available in CN. It was not because like Persona 5X was so that China like they wouldn't have to deal with like completely censoring Persona 5 for like China's themes. They just make their own game. Then they brought it to the West. But the Chinese game design functions still in the bare bones, but this game does, again, feel like Persona 5. It's a Persona 5 more geared towards China-specific gachas versus global gachas, like more like a Genshin. Genshin is more like Genshin was a Chinese gacha, but it was definitely like monetized like a Japanese gacha, which is like part of the reason people liked it so much, that it wasn't monetization pay to not play like a lot of other Chinese gachas. Them adding more free rewards just for doing tasks, awesome. I feel like I always feel like having guides like this, like plans, gets people to keep playing. It's a constant state of progression. I feel companies should do their best to always have something like this always active, so players never can say they have nothing to do at all. Because if, again, speaking as a Destiny player, if you don't have a reason to do something, you don't do it. People didn't, people soloed Crota for the prestige of saying you soloed Crota. It's especially not in Rise of Iron before they revamped it. People were not still soloing Crota because it was hard. People were not still soloing Crota because they wanted the loot. It was for the flex of just saying they soloed Crota. That only gets some players so far, and then once they do it, they're done. Gacha games want players to never leave, and more functions like that gets player to leave that they don't feel they have anything to do. Yeah, and obviously more stories coming in the future. Okay, so my full thoughts on this is not an EOS letter. I have seen so many Doom posts that this game was going to get EOS'd. And for me, my personal opinion is that if a company is straight out saying, okay, we're releasing, it's going to be on an accelerated schedule, we know there's going to be problems, please be patient with us. At the end of the day, it is to catch people up to the story, and there is going to be a lot of content coming out like in the next year for this game that really will put a few other gachas through their paces for like probably player engagement. But with player engagement like this, it's also a high, very, very high burnout rate. But at the end of the day, something people also have to remember, this is a Persona game. I personally am not someone that can sit through Persona and beat it in like a weekend or a month. It takes me a long time to do it. And that probably would have been something like Atlas would have looked at, like how do you balance a game like this? Oh, let's look at how people actually played the game it's based off of. Like, it was rare that people, I don't want to say it was rare, but it's hard for people to be able to beat a game with 120-hour playtime in a month. If you have a full-time job, that's not happening. If you're a streamer, that's happening, but not a normal person. So yeah, I think this game is having a problem striking the delicate balance. I thought I would just give my feedback. I'm not defending this company, or I'm not gonna die on any hill about this company like not being greedy. It's a gacha company. Of course, it's gonna be greedy. They want to make money. But at the end of the day, like, if you're someone that can resist spending money on this game, you won. All they care, they're only getting your time, and in exchange, you're getting a game that you won't spend money on, and will just be a distraction for you. It's more Persona content, and I have been enjoying more Persona content this year than I have in any other year. So I'm just eating good this year. Sorry for this rant. Completely not my usual content, but eh, I saw the letter and I wanted to talk about it because yeah, I know people don't have a high opinion of this game. Um, it's justified, but when you I personally like know when I play a gacha game, I'm making a deal with the devil. Um, and I'm just not someone that like goes back on like making deals. Like the second I don't feel my time is being respected, I quit the game and I quit it cold turkey. Um, when I said I quit Ethereum Restart, I have not touched it. I see people on YouTube like Sean B, um, and I'm happy they're enjoying the game, but Ethereum kind of just lost me already, and probably not gonna get me back. But again, you could say that for any gacha. If I played FGO at its start, I would have done the same thing. Um, don't know about Honkai. Honkai hasn't done it to me yet, and hasn't shown like. And I played Honkai since like the very start. Um, it shows signs, but it hasn't actually like crossed that line. FGO crossed that line at the start and then walked back over and corrected itself. So I'm hoping this game can catch up. I'm not expecting it to go actually like 1-to-1 with CN, but I am expecting like maybe 3 months behind at most, just so they have time to patch everything out. But I think 2 patches is probably actually being 2 patches behind. I think that might be a little too. What's the right word? It might be cutting it a little too close if it's like only 2 patches behind, unless they actually plan to fully catch it up. Honkai shows that it is possible to have games in multiple languages like all updated at the same time. Like it's not impossible. It's just like how I don't know. Maybe that is the plan. But we'll see in the future. All right, peace. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like or sub. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.